You ever look at your bank account and think, wait, I'm making more money than I ever have, so why does it feel like I'm more broke than before? Like, you're earning $50,000 a year. On paper, that should be decent money, but somehow, rent eats half your paycheck, groceries feel like a luxury purchase, and saving $1,000 feels harder than saving $10,000 used to feel. And you start wondering, how did my parents survive on half this income while I can barely breathe? If that thought has crossed your mind even once, yeah, this video is for you. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. $50,000 in 2026 doesn't feel like $50,000. It feels closer to $10,000 from 2010. And once you see the math behind it, you won't be able to unsee it. My name is James, and I spend way too much time thinking about inflation. If you're someone who feels the devaluation of money, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down why your money is quietly shrinking, why raises don't actually make you richer. The exact math shows how purchasing power collapsed, and most importantly, how to fight back. And look, this isn't doom content. This is clarity content. Because once you understand the rules of the game, you stop losing by default. Here's the thing. Most people believe this. If I just earn more money, I'll be fine. Sounds logical, right? Except it's completely wrong, because money doesn't exist in isolation. What matters is not how many dollars you have, but what those dollars can buy. That difference is called purchasing power. And purchasing power has been getting absolutely destroyed. According to long-term U.S. inflation data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, $10,000 in 2010 requires about $15,000 to $16,000 today just to buy the same stuff. That's over 50% inflation in about 15 years. But here's what most people don't realize. That's the official number. Your personal inflation rate is likely much higher. Why? Because inflation doesn't hit everything equally. Real-life inflation versus official inflation. Let's talk about the things you actually spend money on. Housing. Rent prices in many cities have doubled since 2010. Some areas saw increases of 120 to 150%. Groceries. Food prices rose roughly 70 to 90%, depending on the category. Cars. Average used car prices nearly doubled after 2020. Health insurance, up over 100% since 2010. Education, up over 70%. Now compare that to wages. Since 2010, median wages increased roughly 35 to 40%. See the problem? Your costs went up 70 to 120%. Your income went up 40%. That gap is the silent wealth killer. Why $50,000 feels so small? Let's do simple math. In 2010, $50,000 income, average rent $850 a month, annual rent $10,200. That's about 20% of income. In 2026, $50,000 income, average rent $1,700 a month, annual rent $20,400. That's over 40% of income. Before you bought food, before insurance, before gas, before taxes, same salary, completely different reality. That's why people feel broke even when they shouldn't. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Inflation doesn't just affect your wallet, it attacks your brain. Psychologists call this money illusion. Your brain focuses on the number, not the value. So when you hear, I make $50,000 a year, your brain compares it to, my parents made $30,000, and thinks, I'm doing better. But economically, you're not. You're doing worse, and your brain doesn't understand why. That disconnect creates chronic financial anxiety, guilt for not doing enough, and burnout from running faster just to stay still. You're not bad with money. You're playing a game where the rules changed. Now, you might be thinking, okay, James, but I get raises. Sure, let's say you get a 5% raise. Sounds great, but if inflation is 7%, you just took a 2% pay cut. And here's the brutal part. Most people celebrate raises without adjusting for inflation, so they feel richer while actually getting poorer. That's how inflation wins quietly. Here's what most people don't realize. Inflation punishes savers. If your money sits in cash earning 1 to 2% and inflation runs at 6 to 8%, you are losing 4 to 6% per year, guaranteed. That's not market risk. That's mathematical certainty. $10,000 sitting in cash for 10 years at 6% inflation loses nearly half its purchasing power. You didn't spend it. You didn't gamble it. You just let time eat it. Let's connect the dots. Your income rises slowly, your expenses rise faster, your savings lose value, your goals keep moving further away. That's why $100,000 used to feel rich. Now, it feels like emergency money. That's why $1 million used to mean retirement. Now, it means maybe comfortable. The number didn't change, the value did. Think of money like ice. Inflation is room temperature. If you leave ice sitting on the table, it melts. You can blame the ice, or you can understand physics. Cash melts over time. The solution isn't fear. The solution is insulation. This is where strategy matters, because wealthy people don't beat inflation by earning more. They beat it by owning assets that move with inflation. Historically, stocks outpace inflation long term. Real estate rises with inflation. Businesses raise prices with inflation. Cash does none of that. That's why the wealthy hate holding cash, not because it's unsafe, but because it's guaranteed to decay. Here's a simple framework. Layer 1, survival cash. 3 to 6 months of expenses. This is safety, not growth. Layer 2, inflation fighters, broad index funds, retirement accounts, long-term investments. Layer 3, income expansion, skills, side income, career leverage. Most people only have layer 1 and wonder why they're stuck. Clear, actionable steps. Let's make this practical. Step 1, stop measuring wealth by income. Income is fuel. Assets are engines. Step 2, track your personal inflation rate, not CPI, your actual expenses. Step 3, automate investing. Consistency beats timing. Step 4, invest before lifestyle expands. Raises should buy assets first, upgrades second. Step 5, increase income intentionally, not randomly. High-value skills beat hustle culture every time. You cannot save your way out of inflation. You must invest. Do not speculate, not gamble. Invest, because inflation is not temporary. It is structural. Governments create money. Assets absorb money. Cash loses value. That's the system. If you do nothing, your money keeps shrinking. Your goals drift further away, and you'll keep wondering why life feels harder. But if you understand purchasing power, if you stop chasing numbers and start chasing value, you can actually win. Look, inflation isn't your fault, but responding to it is your responsibility. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stop standing still. Because standing still with money is moving backwards. If this video helped you understand why $50,000 doesn't feel like it used to, and most importantly, what to actually do about it, hit the like button, subscribe for weekly financial clarity, and share this with someone who keeps saying, "I make more money, but I feel poor." Now you know why, and more importantly, now you know how to fight it.